So this morning in the House Education Committee, Representative Dale Hawkins presented a bill that would essentially make sure that parents, right? Parents are aware of what's going on in our schools, because there's a lot of complaints going on about what is being taught in schools, or what is being discussed, what is being used as curriculum, what certain teachers sneak in order to satisfy their own agendas. And so, like we've said earlier, if daddy's got the money and daddy's paying for it, then daddy makes the rules, right? So let's listen to this presentation here from Representative Hawkins.
This is actually in addition to some stuff I think we've already done in the past, with some additions to it. It's learning materials transparencies. It's I guess pretty simple in my view here. In the first portion here, that would be that schools must publish all learning materials, including textbooks, course syllabus, and supplemental materials on the district website by October of each year. This ensures that parents have full visibility into what their children are being taught, promoting transparency and accountability in education. It empowers parents to review and understand the curriculum, fostering better communication between schools and their families. Transparency in educational material helps maintain trust between parents and educators while ensuring that the instructional content aligns with the community.
Yeah, there you go. Easy peasy. I mean, we want to see what the curriculum is. It's been pointed out repeatedly over the years as we went through the pandemic about how, schooling at home, Zoom classes for students, and parents finally seeing what was being taught. It was like, wait, what are you guys talking about? What is being taught here, or what's not being taught? And so this is all, obviously, you're out there, you understand the ramifications of all this. So this was the bill that came up. And immediately when something like this comes up, you're going to have the left go bananas. Representative Church, the Democrat out of Boise, she is also a teacher of some sort. And so she had some questions regarding this with Hawkins. Let's watch this.
To the last bill on why individuals would not want to be administrators or superintendents, the amount of code and rules that come out of this body are pretty significant. My question is for, I guess it's section 5. A public school shall be required to adopt procedures and policies that prohibit classroom instruction by public school personnel on sexual orientation or gender identity from kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in according with state standards. Can you tell me what does classroom instruction on gender identity, what does that mean?
Representative Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Church, as everybody in this room knows, the state stand against a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in diversity, equity, and inclusion in our university systems and other places. We have found that in some areas, and I'm not even saying we have it here in Idaho, it's being started in elementary schools now. And this is to point out that we don't want those, that instruction comes from parents. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Okay, follow up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Representative Hawkins. To my question though, like what is gender identity teaching? What does that mean? When we talk about Title IX, that's gender identity. Like what does it mean not to teach gender identity in this bill?
Representative Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Church,
She's playing dumb.
I'm trying to think of the proper way to answer this. I stated that these issues should always be dealt with by children's parents. We know that there's been a movement in different states, and I'm not saying it's in Idaho elementary schools, but there's been an encouragement to, I don't even want to use the term misgender, because I've been accused of that by saying the wrong word to somebody who I assumed was one thing and it wasn't. I think these parameters are really clear. I'm not sure that I don't follow your questioning. I think you know the answer, so I don't know why you're asking me. I mean, I don't think that this is some vague thing that we're dealing with here. The desire here is that a second grade teacher shouldn't be diving into this arena at all.
Okay, an additional follow-up, Representative Church?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for a motion and a comment.
Motion's in order.
Yeah, I move that we hold RS 32404 in committee. And my comment is that the sponsor has admitted that, one, this may not be happening in Idaho and so not necessary. And two, it is very difficult for a public school teacher or administrator to uphold rules when the definitions are not clear. To talk about gender identity, it's a very broad thing. And if a second grader asks, why is there a girls' basketball team and a boys' basketball team, that could very clearly fall under personnel talking about gender identity from kindergarten through third grade.
Weak.
So I'm just concerned that
enough.
one, it's
honestly, like the lack of common sense in these people, like they'll find any ounce, any thread that they can pull in order to keep this indoctrinating language, this ideology, this cult-like behavior from being stopped in our schools. It's all they do. It's all they do. They try and find every little detail. You know exactly what we're talking about here. You know exactly what Hawkins is trying to do here. And you don't like it. So just say it. Just say it out loud. So we know exactly where you are. Just say it out loud. Then you got another Republican, Representative Mark Sauter from District 1 up north, getting fancy here, getting clever with how they can. Let's watch this.
This RS, I think throughout mentions that uses the public word for public schools and charter schools. Given that House Bill 93 was passed yesterday in the Senate, would it be your interest, or what are your thoughts on including private schools in this and all education with this? Thank you.
Representative Hawkins, I would just say, that's not part of your bill. So whether you choose to answer that or not is up to you, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Sauter. I think it's outside of the scope of what we're talking about. I'd be glad to talk to the sponsors of that bill and ask what their opinion is.
Committee, I think we're getting a little into the weeds on the RS hearing, just my point of view. So
look, I've said it. We've said it here. We saw Senator Brandon Shippey yesterday during that debate on House Bill 93, the school choice tax credit bill, that he says what government funds, government rules, or something to that effect. I know I'm paraphrasing here. But I mean, that is the whole reason why HJR 1 should have passed yesterday in the House. And now you understand why it failed. Because those who are in control of the money for public schools get to make the rules. And so if you're going to send money to private schools and say, but you don't have to follow the public school rules, those people don't like that because they want to be able to control everything. So I understand the philosophy, right? You understand the philosophy because I agree with the philosophy, right? To an extent. Government's funding something, so they get to set up the rules so that it's efficient, it's transparent, there's not waste, right? And you're getting good results, okay? But then there's those who have an agenda that just want to use your money to further their agenda, right? So there's a lot of moving parts in all of this. But that's why HJR 1 was so vital yesterday. And the fact that it failed yesterday is a disgrace. It is a slap in the face to the homeschooling community. It's a slap in the face to just parents in general who are raising their kids and want them to succeed. You know, this whole notion that parents are going to neglect their children. We're just going to allow bad parents to run rampant. Are you kidding me? That is not our way. Parents care for their children. Are you kidding me? Sure. Are there like meth heads who have babies and neglect their children? Of course. But there's other ways of dealing with that. You don't punish the rest of society for that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay. There was another exchange with Representative Church and Hawkins here, but I'm tired of listening to it. But you know, I like Representative Mathis, Johnny Mathis. That was a singer. Chris Mathias is the Democrat out of Boise, the North End there, District 19. And he had this final, like, he was fed up in his own way. Let's listen to this. Oh, do we not have it? We've got dead air. We don't. I think that's fine.
And I know that it's outside the scope of this bill, which is why I'm not commenting on the bill. But I think Representative Sauter raises a point that I have come to conclude is a very real reality that I think we all need to address, which is there is no competition in the school choice market because we put regulation and requirement. We just stack them up on the public schools. So to suggest that they're able to compete with private schools is just nonsense.
Oh, with all these regulations, hey, you got it. You got it right. But here's the other thing though. When you put in regulations that kind of match the community that is trying to get the values of the community in, then you do create competition. But when your agenda is just like woke, pride flags everywhere. You know, the pride flag is still flying in Salmon High School, still flying out there. That bill, the H-96 bill that passed was about flags flying on government buildings. And the bill, I forget the number, but Representative Ted Hill's flag bill in the schools, I forget the number because it's changed a couple times. But that bill is still making its way through. And until then, I guess that flag in Salmon High School is going to continue to fly, right? Right? Because local control down there says it's okay. And I guess the community down in Salmon, I guess you're fine with it. That flag's still flying. I guess you're okay with it. You know, if you're not lighting up are you guys lighting up the phones? Are you guys lighting up the phones out at your legislators' offices? Are you lighting up the phones at the school board? I don't know. Maybe you don't care. That's fine. I don't know. Make some noise. Call. If you're in Salmon, leave me a voicemail. Put up the voicemail thing. Do we have it? You'll find it. It's scrolling on the bottom. But here it is. If you're in Salmon, Idaho, and you're sick of seeing that pride flag in Salmon High School, leave me a message. Tell me what you're doing about it. 208-402-4915. Come on, folks. You know, I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm here to get you off your butts and get out there and help these legislators. You can't donate to their campaign. That's fine. You don't need to donate. You need to support them. You can't go walk their precinct and do some door knocking. That's fine. You can make a phone call. There's many ways to help these folks out here. And look, if you're fine with the way things are, then that's fine. I don't even know. You're probably not watching this program. All right, folks. That's where we're at. All right. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Coming from within the system, which the process in the system is broken.